Good morning, everybody. I hope you all have had a super lovely day, and I hope yesterday was good for you, and I hope that the following days will be good for you. Today's video, as you can tell from the title, is Why Are They Ghosting Me? So why is the person that you're interested in, or the person you have in mind, why aren't they answering your messages? Why aren't they communicating about the situation to you? What's going on that's preventing them from reaching out to you? What's going on in their mind? This is a very popular question. I get it a lot, so I figured it'd make a good video. And we do have more piles, as you can see, because I'm only using 2 decks, the Angel Answers Oracle and the Fountain Tarot deck. So because of the lack of different cards, I decided to make more piles. We've got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, and pile 5. And we can get started with pile 1. I'll just give you a moment though to choose your pile. Timestamps will, of course, be in the description box like usual. Okay, let's start with pile 1. Got wicked cramps today, so if you see me hunch over a couple times, ignore that. I'm sorry for the messy background. Mess on this desk at least. Anyway, pile 1, we've got the rose quartz here. Looks very clear in this lighting. The cards you have are Meditation Brings Answers. It's Up to You. Four of Swords, Ace of Wands, and Two of Swords. Actually, here, I'll put these down here. Yeah, this makes more sense. Okay. So, it looks like your person is on the defensive right now. They are ghosting you or avoiding you or not talking to you because they're just trying to focus on themselves right now. I think that they feel like they've hurt you or you've accused them of hurting you. So they've just decided to pull away so they can focus on becoming a better person. Maybe not necessarily becoming better for you, but just becoming better for whatever future partner comes into their life. They're very... They recognize that what they're doing isn't okay, and they want to change that. They might already consider this connection closed. They might not realize that this connection is still even open anymore. They just think that you've moved on and they're moving on. They don't see it as ghosting. They just see it as moving forward. If you are messaging them and your messages have been quite, argumentative, or if you're pushing for answers or you're being accusatory, that's putting them even more on the defensive, making them pull away even more and making them just kind of go on their own path instead of, reaching back out to you. I think they're taking a lot of time right now just to rest. Like I said, I think they're moving forward. They don't want to be part of this connection anymore. At least they don't think that there's the option to be a part of the connection anymore. But I do think that is apt to change. With the Two of Swords here, that can commonly represent choices. We've got the It's Up to You card. We've got the Ace of Wands for new beginnings. And not new beginnings doesn't necessarily always mean a new beginning with a new person. It can a lot of the time mean a new beginning with somebody old, right? Somebody from our past. So I think here we're seeing this idea of if you change your tone of voice, or if you give them a little bit to calm down, to lower their defenses, and then you reach out to them and then you say, hey, it's been a while and I haven't heard from you. Or maybe you don't even mention that you haven't heard from them. Just be like, it's been a while, just checking in to see if you're okay. If you approach it from a different way, and you try to refrain from sounding as accusatory as possible, even though of course your feelings are probably hurt by this. Don't make that known right away. Just open up the communication so that they see that you still want to communicate with them. You're not trying to end it. You just want to talk to them. And then once you open that back up and they do start talking, then you can say, hey, when you disappeared on me, that really hurt my feelings. What can we do in the future to prevent that from happening? And that's how you're going to help fix this problem so that you're not seeing this happen in the future with them. Now, of course, if you were just kind of like, F this person, that's not fair that you are cutting me off just for trying to express how I feel, or for, accusing you of something that you've done, which, is completely valid as well. Then just know that you don't have to make this up, It's okay to move your own way and to move on and to focus on a new beginning with somebody else, and to get that new beginning with somebody else. Because, somebody who doesn't want to talk to you, they've kind of showed their colors already. They're letting it be known that they aren't interested. And I really do sense that this person, they aren't interested, but it is just more in the sense that they aren't interested because they don't think that you are anymore. They think that you just want to get back at them, or you want to hurt them, or you just want to have closure there. And they're just like, I don't need closure. I just want to let this go. I don't want to confront what I've done. I don't want this conflict. I don't want to be faced with this guilt. I just want to move on and forget about it. So it really is up to you where you want to go with this, but just know that they are ghosting you because they feel like you're accusing them, and because they just don't want to have to deal with that. When you've done something guilty, or when you feel guilty for something, then having someone call you out on that behavior, just makes you feel worse, right? And some people just can't take that, and they don't want to take that, so they'll just continue ghosting you or continue ignoring your messages. That is your reading. If you want any more info, you're welcome to watch another pile. There might be some messages throughout the pile, since there are more than usual. Actually, I wanted to put that to the side. But if not, it's a short message. Like I said, only a couple cards, so I didn't want to make it super long. But yeah, if it resonated with you, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe, or comment. I read and respond to all comments, so don't be afraid to say whatever's on your mind. And yeah, I hope you all have a super lovely day. I might have another video up today. I might not. I'm trying to get a whole list of stuff done today, so we shall see. But yeah, if I don't see you again, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I should see you all tomorrow. I love you very much. Okay. Pile 2, this is your crystal. So you have forgiveness and remain positive. 5 of Cups. Knight of Swords. And 2 of Coins. So just like the first pile, you have this sense of choice, like it can go one way or the other right now. Could also mean that there's 2 different reasons why they're ghosting you, or there could be 2 different reasons that are happening here. But I think more likely it's more that, depending on how you behave going forward, that's going to change whether or not this connection starts back up again or not. Oh my goodness, cramps are the worst. Oof. Anyway, with the 5 of Cups here, we've got kind of like this illusion is broken, or you're just feeling desolate. Is that the right word? I can't pronounce it, but where you're just kind of feeling like isolated and hopeless. And of course that could be how you're feeling. It could also be how they're feeling, though. They're just kind of like, this is useless. Why am I still talking to this person when I know I don't want anything from it? With the Knight of Swords here, it's like they're pushing forward for something else. You might have not given them what they wanted, whatever that may be, and because of that, they're just moving on to someone else, someone who is going to give them whatever they were asking for, whatever they were demanding. Or, could be that you were demanding too much, and they're moving forward to somebody who isn't demanding, or doesn't have those demands that you did. They're moving to somebody who's more on the same wavelength as them. If you, for example, wanted a relationship and they didn't, but, you just weren't really picking up on that, then they are ghosting you because they're just like, nope, this isn't what I wanted. sucks because I really like this person, but I don't like them in that way, and I'm not going to force this if it's not what I want. So they're moving quickly forward onto somebody else. They already had somebody else in their sights, I think, you know, and it kind of feels like with the Two of Coins here, actually, they've just been kind of juggling you and the second person for a while now, trying to figure out who's the right match for them or who's the best fit. And because they're ghosting you, it looks a lot like they have chosen the second person. But with the angel cards here, forgiveness and remain positive, it could be that this second person they've chosen is just themselves. If they're going through a really hard time right now, maybe they've been suffering with depression or some type of sadness, and they're just focusing a lot on fixing their mental health, and that person they've chosen is themselves, then, you know, don't hold that against them. They should, of course, be communicating with you better, you know, and there's nothing wrong with demanding better communication and expecting better communication. But some people just aren't good with that communication, or they don't know that it's expected yet, or they just haven't been taught how to do it properly. So it's okay to kind of hope that they will come back. Just know that you still have to put yourself first. You know, you can be like, yeah, maybe they'll come back, and if they do, then maybe we can see how things go this time. But you can't stop yourself from having connections with other people. You know, if somebody else comes along and they're a better fit, you can't be like, well, no, this person who I thought I might have liked a long time ago might still come back for me. Like, you're just hurting yourself at that point, right? So don't be afraid to just be like, oh yeah, like if they come back, we'll see how things go, but don't hold yourself back from new connections in the process. And likewise, if this is a second person they're choosing, if they are straight up choosing somebody else over you and not telling you, and they're ghosting you because, you know, you just didn't give them what they wanted, or somebody else is giving them something better, we have the forgiveness card here because they're going to come back for forgiveness. It isn't that your guides are telling you to forgive them, and not, of course, that I can speak for your guides or for yourself, but I personally do not think these are the types of situations where people should be forgiven. But if they are choosing somebody else, just know that that's going to fall apart, and they're going to come back to you and be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for ghosting you. That was so awful of me. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have chosen this other person over you. I shouldn't have done whatever they did, right? They're just going to apologize for all these things and, you know, cry a little bit probably, and just make it seem like a really genuine apology. But just know that it's not quite a game to them, but it's just they've already shown where their priorities lay, and it's not with you. If you're somebody's second priority, sure, it's nice to you know, be second instead of 10th, right? But you don't want to be dating somebody when you know that they would rather have been with somebody else, right? Because then going forward, you're just always going to wonder, well, what if I'm not good enough yet for them? What if I'm still not good enough? What if they're just dating me because they want to pass time? They want somebody to pass time with. And every time they meet someone new, you're going to be worried about if they're going to choose that new person over you instead of, you know, believing that they'll stay with you. And that, of course, is a really stressful relationship for both partners. And it's not something that either of you deserve to be put through, but, you know, specifically you know, like, you don't want to be putting yourself in that situation where you're going to be doubting their intentions all the time, or you're going to feel like a second option. So just know that if they are choosing somebody else right now, if they come back, you know, you need to really weigh that option if they're worth it or not. I do feel if they are putting themselves first right now, though, and they're just trying to focus on their mental health instead of choosing somebody else, if you just try to open that communication up with them and say, hey, I want you to know that if you're going through something, like, I'm always here to chat. You know, you don't owe me a conversation every single day. You know, we can just have a checkup once a week or bi-weekly or something. That might help keep the conversation going, or help keep the connection with them. That way they know that they can be open with you, and they know that it's okay to talk to you about whatever's happening to them. And then you know as well that they're not choosing somebody else, right? They're just trying to put themselves first, and that they still care about you. But I do think for most of you, it's more that you're being ghosted because you weren't giving them what they wanted, or, you know, well, that's the main thing. You weren't giving them what they wanted, either by demanding too much or not wanting whatever they wanted. So they're choosing somebody else, and that sucks big time. It really does. But just know that you deserve somebody who's going to want to choose you first, and you will find that somebody. That is your reading pile 2. If you found it resonated, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. I read and respond to all comments, so don't be afraid to say whatever's on your mind. And yeah, I might see you again today. I might not, depending on how my cramps are going. But I hope you all have a super lovely rest of your day, and I shall see you soon. I love you very much. Okay, pile 3. This is your crystal. We have got the Page of Coins, Four of Cups, and Seven of Swords. And then we have Reconsider, and You're Ready. So the biggest message that I'm getting here is that you should be moving on. And of course, I know that you won't do that until you are ready, but you know, the cards are saying you already are. You're just putting more, you're inflicting more pain on yourself by waiting for them to message you. They are ghosting you because they have already moved on, or they've just decided that this connection isn't for them. They're just not interested anymore. Whatever it is, you're not even crossing their mind at this point. They have let you go. They're moving on. They might already have a new partner or a new person in their life. They aren't bothered by you anymore. You don't cross their mind. And that sucks to say, and I'm sorry to say it, but that's just what we're looking at here. And the cards are telling you that you need to let them go as well. You're just going to hurt yourself by waiting for them to reconnect with you. And if they do reconnect with you, you know, it's just going to have this repeating pattern. If they do reach out to you, then you're only going to talk for so long before they start ghosting you again. And then you're just going to be hurt all over again. And you're always going to be wondering why you weren't good enough and why they didn't choose you and where you went wrong. When in reality, you haven't done anything wrong. They're just not the right person for you, right? And they're making that known right now. And you need to listen to that message and not let them hurt you again, right? The Seven of Swords, you know, I believe it speaks about betrayal, but for me, it always just looks like self-inflicted pain. He's grabbing 5 swords, right? Like, he's just straight up grabbing swords by the pointy ends. He's hurting himself by doing this. And it's the same with you. You know, you're trying to grab onto this person. You're trying to grab their hand, their wrist, whatever you can to make them stay. And they're not staying. So you're just, you know, hurting your hands by doing that. I'm thinking of that image where it's like somebody has like a rope tied around his hands or their hand, and they're holding it really tightly, but the rope is, you know, dragging through their hands and rubbing their hands raw, right? And it says that sometimes letting go is the better option or something like that, right? And it's the same with this connection. Like, by holding on, you're just hurting yourself more because you're putting these unfair expectations on them and on yourself, and you know, you're creating this fantasy life with them that they don't even want to be a part of because they're just not interested anymore. Like I said, there is a chance they'll come back once this new thing doesn't work out, or once they just feel lonely or something. You know, there is the Reconsider card here, and we've got the Page of Coins sometimes too, which can indicate maybe not returning, but just something new. They might want to try something new with you. But it's more so reconsider that I'm seeing here that might indicate they might come back. But if they do, it won't be for a long while. And it won't be because you've done anything. It'll just be because they're bored with whatever thing they have going on right now. So they're going to come back. But then as soon as they get bored with you again, they're going to leave again. And like I said, you don't deserve that. You deserve someone who's going to want to stay with you, right? Who doesn't ever get bored of you. And if they ever get bored, then, you know, they'll just go out to the living room and play video games for a little bit. You know, like, you don't deserve somebody who's just going to get bored, stop talking to you altogether to do something else and not tell you what's happening, and then come back when they get bored of that person. You're not a rebound. You're not a second option. You know, you deserve to be the top priority of whoever you are interested in. And this person just isn't making you that, and that's not fair on you. Some of you might have a kid with this person, which might also be making it really hard to let them go. You know, it might be the kind of situation where you have primary custody over this child that you have, and they are just uninterested really in talking to you or being a part of the child's life, or may constantly miss weekends with them. And, you know, part of this hurt and anger that you have towards them, and the reason you're holding on, is because you don't want your child to be hurt by their parent not caring, by the second parent, that is, not caring. And just know that children will understand. They will, of course, be hurt. I'm sure lots of us have had that parent who didn't care, didn't visit us. I thankfully could not relate to that particularly. But just know that, you know, like, as far as I know, they'll understand that. All right, sorry for that terrible 6 or 7 seconds of me stopping halfway through a sentence and clicking my screen. My partner came home and brought me chicken, so I was trying to figure out how to stop the video, but we're good now. Anyway, as I was saying, if you're worried about frick, choking on chicken. If you're worried about if there is a child involved, how they're going to take this idea of their parent not caring about them, just know you still have to do what is good for you first. Of course, do what's good for the child as well, but constantly getting them excited to see the other parent, right? And then the other parent not showing up every single weekend. Like, that's just more damaging than, you know, equally cutting them out of your life, right? So just make sure that you aren't holding on and misguiding yourself into thinking you're holding on to the person who's ghosting you for the sake of somebody else, because they're going to do better off as well if you don't hold on to this connection any longer. And it really is like you're misguiding yourself by saying that you're doing it for somebody else, because really, you know, that might of course be the case, but like I said, they'll do better off once you've stopped letting this person trick you. But yeah, I think that specific message isn't for everybody, just for very specific people who chose this pile. For most of you, though, it'll just be this person that you're really interested in, and they've moved on completely, and that's why they're ghosting you, and it's just harming yourself by holding on to them still. And, you know, you don't deserve to hurt yourself, of course, right? So that is your reading. Again, sorry for the really terrible 6-second clip of me clicking the screen. I'm too lazy to edit it, so that's on me. But I hope you found it resonated, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day if I don't see you again. And if the video did resonate, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I shall see you all later. I love you very much. Okay, pile 4. This is your crystal. For you, we have the Ace of Swords, Three of Cups, and Justice. And then here we've got Let Go and Take Action, which is very conflicting for sure. So I think what's happened here is that the person you're asking about or thinking about, they are still emotionally entangled with somebody else, but that doesn't make them less emotionally involved in you. They are really struggling right now to figure out what the best path is to take here, whether, you know, they want to choose this first person or you, or, you know, if you are the first person, if they want to choose the second person. They're just trying to figure out where exactly they belong in this kind of triangle they've put themselves in. They really are interested in you, though, and I think that they're just taking time away from you and this second person taking time away from them as well. They've pulled away from both of you, and they're ghosting both of you, trying to figure out what they want and who they want. They have been trying to do this balancing act for a while, though, trying to be equally as involved in you as they are with somebody else, without realizing that they've crossed a boundary there, they've crossed the line. I don't think they realize that what they've done necessarily isn't okay, or shouldn't be, not that shouldn't be allowed, but that, it just might not be okay in terms of the relationship you have with them, or in terms of the relationship the second person has. But now they've realized that what they're doing isn't okay. That's why they started ghosting you. They realize that they've made a mistake, and they just need to pull away from everyone involved to figure out what they want. But this has been going on for a while. They've been balancing this for a while, trying to figure out what exactly they're feeling, how they're feeling, what they're going to do about it, what it means. I think they really want to talk about it too. They just don't want you to leave them, or they don't want you to ghost them in return, or they don't want you to pull away. So they haven't talked about it to you because they're afraid of how you're going to respond. They're afraid of what you might say about it. And they just don't want you to leave them yet. So that's why they've pulled away first. They're pulling away because, that's kind of like a defense mechanism. And plus it allows them to take time to think about what they want. And they're just hoping that you'll still be there when they come back. With the let go and take action, it's kind of telling you that you need to confront this person, and you need to put yourself first. You need to know what is best for you. If you have been involved with this person for a long, long time, and now all of a sudden they're ghosting you, and you don't know why, you don't know what's happening, then they might have just started falling for somebody else. And is that what you deserve? Is that the kind of relationship that you want to be in? And, if it's not, then you need to let go of the connection, confront them and say, I deserve better than this. I deserve better than you. I'm sorry, but this shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have gone on this long. You should have talked to me about it, and whatever. Likewise, if you just recently met them and they're ghosting you now, and you're realizing that they have had somebody else on the side this whole time before they met you even, then you need to ask yourself if that's what you want. If they come back and say, no, it is you that I want, you're the person that I've chosen, you're the person that I want to be with, then is that, what you want? Do you want somebody who might do the same thing to you as they did to the original partner? Or do you trust that this isn't going to happen again? Or can you have those discussions and change the way that they communicate, so that if something like this happens again, you can communicate about it, months before it gets to this point? So that's really what I'm seeing for let go and take action. You can let go of the connection, but still do that confrontation, still discuss it and talk about it, while still kind of preparing for the worst, or already making a decision that you're done with them at this point. For some of you, I feel like you are aware of this third person in this, situation. It could be even that you're aware that they've had this person on the side all this time, And if that's the case, just know that they have been feeling weird about it, and that's why they're pulling away, because they're just feeling like it's not allowed. Or maybe that other person doesn't want them to be involved with both of you, right? So they've pulled away to just try and figure out what they want. But altogether, I'm seeing that them ghosting you is not so much something that you did, it's just more they are trying to figure out where to go from here. They still like you a lot, and they're still really emotionally attached and connected to you. They just don't know if they're more so attached to the other person or not, right? So they're just trying to figure out what they want and where to go. That, I believe, is all I have for your reading. Sorry it is short. I have chicken beside me that I'm excited to eat. But I hope you all have a super lovely day. And if the reading resonated, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. I read and respond to all comments, so say whatever you want, whatever's on your mind, I'll try and get to it. And yeah, I might see you guys again later today or tomorrow, but either way, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I love you very much. Okay, last pile 5. This is your crystal. And your cards are the Wheel of Fortune, Eight of Swords, and Seven of Wands. We've got Not the Right Time and Trust. Interesting. So what I'm seeing, I think that you two are just very toxic for each other, very unhealthy for each other. And the person that you're involved with knows this, and that's why they've pulled away. They're letting go of this for now because they just know it's not the right time. They know that you two aren't right for each other yet. They think that you two both have a lot of growing, a lot of learning, a lot of maturity to be had here. They want to be with you. They just know that now isn't the right time for it. They're really trusting in, the circle of life, this wheel that keeps rolling forward to bring you two back together again. You'll meet once again, and they're trusting that the universe will bring you two back together again. They just know that for now, it's not going to happen and that they need to let you go. They could, of course, have done a better job of communicating that with you and ending it in a very, closure-y way instead of just stopping communicating or blocking you or ghosting you or whatever they may have done. But I think they were afraid of what confrontation could have come of it, especially since, if you two are unhealthy for each other, they just didn't want the fight that would follow saying that they were leaving or that they were done with you for now. And of course, they don't want to say, I'll be back one day, because they just want to be able to do what they want to do without worrying about you coming out of the woods and being like, why are you with that person? I thought we were going to get back together. And likewise, you should do the same. Even if they do come back, that doesn't mean you can't live your life for now, right? You need to let them go as well. That way you can have the growth and the experience that you need to be reconnected with them one day. And also understand that this relationship isn't healthy for you, and it wasn't healthy for them, right? Like, it's not healthy for either of you, so trying to force it right now just isn't going to work. And although ghosting, of course, isn't the right decision either, it's not the right option, at least it's ending the connection for now, right? Like, at least we'll be able to get out of this unhealthy state or this obsession or this toxicity and move on to something that is healthier and more conductive to your mental health, more healthy for you. I think they or you, or both of you, felt very trapped by each other. You felt you couldn't really express who you really were. So again, they're ghosting or leaving because they just want to get away from that. They want to break free from all those feelings, all that toxicity. They want to be able to express who they are and do what they want. They might not have been ready to settle down. If you were wanting a relationship with them, they might have just been like, no, I'm not ready yet to stop fooling around or stop hanging out with other people. I just can't do the things that you're demanding of me yet because I'm just not ready for it yet. Or you, of course, might be the one who's not ready for it, and they recognize that and don't want to keep forcing both of you through that pain of wanting something that just isn't going to work out because you're at different points in life right now. But I do sense that eventually you two will come back together. Whether or not you'll be ready for each other at this point isn't really up to me to say or anyone to know. And it also isn't something you should be waiting for. Like I said, I don't think you'll learn the lesson you're meant to learn. I don't think you'll experience the things you need to experience going forward if you're still waiting for them to come back. You need to just act like they're never coming back and grieve it like they're never coming back and move on to other people and let yourself experience new things. And if they do come back 10 years down the road, whatever it may be, then evaluate if you two are ready for each other at that point or not. And if you're in a relationship with somebody else who's perfect for you, why would you ruin that relationship just to get back together with somebody who ghosted you 10 years earlier, right? So just don't hold out for that to happen, or don't hold out for them to come back, but know that it is an option once you two have grown more. There also is the hint of past lives or karma here between you two, which could make this connection that much more intense for you and harder to let go of. But just know that sometimes people from a past life of ours, they're not meant to be in our life forever. Even soulmates aren't meant to be in our life forever. They're just meant to teach us a lesson, and then they can leave us early or leave us before we think that they should. But that's your reading for today. Not very long. There's a lot of piles. If you wanted more information, you're welcome to choose another pile. You know, there could be more story there. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. If you liked this reading or if it resonated, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I should see you all either later tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I love you very much.